Hatchlings, it's DragonFeather and welcome back to my channel. On today's episode, I'm gonna go over the Fairy Zodiac that I found in this book that I got recently called Fairycraft. So it's been teaching me a lot about fairy, like fairy magic and like fairy rituals, fairy crafting as well, and is really awesome. Like, if you do not have this book and you are interested in fairies, I definitely recommend it. If I can find a link, there will be one in the description box down below to it. But I'm gonna go over the Fairy Zodiac, and I've recently just started this book, so I haven't finished it yet. But I found the Fairy Zodiac in here, and I really wanted to share it with you guys because you've been so curious about fairies. So I feel like this is a good video for everybody. The Fairy Zodiac. Dividing the four elements into three different qualities, we find ourselves with a direct elemental parallel to the Western zodiac system. I have assigned appropriate fairy beings and myths to these 12 elemental divisions to give us a fairy zodiac. Not only is this an interesting way to look at the different beings and stories that are associated with the varied environmental manifestations of the elements, but it is also an excellent way of personally identifying with the qualities of the elements in their spiritual personalities. This is, of course, only a brief look at the sun signs and does not take into full account the full complexity of astrology with the positioning of the other planets, but there is certainly scope to take these ideas and develop them in a future system. So that's just kind of an introduction, and I'm going to be going over every single sun sign. So these are going to be for the dates of the regular zodiac. So like, I'm an Aquarius. Aquarius is associated with something else in the Fairy Zodiac. So it's just going to go kind of like that, and we'll get on with this. So forgive me guys if I butcher any of these names, but I will be putting the captions on the screen so you guys can read along. So the first one is from March 21st to April 20th, and this is Primal Fire, or Soul, S-O-L, and this is associated with Lu the Warrior. So ළàm, or Long-Armed, is a great warrior poet and champion of the Tuatha Dé Danann, the gods of ancient Ireland from whom it is said the Sidhe are descended. He is also known as Lu Samael-Danach, which means many skilled, for he was admitted to Tara. He's the sacred home of the Tuatha, or the Tuatha? On the grounds that although they had many amongst them who were highly skilled in the same areas as Lu, there were none like him who were highly skilled in all areas. People of this sign are natural leaders, if they can learn to manage their quick tempers. There may be a tendency to react passionately and rush headfast into challenging situations without fully thinking it through, but there is also a likelihood that luck will be with them, as well as the skill to come out on top. Warriors are ambitious but noble, channeling their fiery natures into ambitions that benefit those they care about. They are driven by a strong will and can inspire others with their charismatic natures. So the next one is from April 21st to May 20th, and this is considered Still Earth or Stone, and is associated with Gog-Magog the Giant. So Gog-Magog was a guardian in the ancient land of Cornwall, once a country in its own right, now known as Cornwall in the southwest of Britain. Giants are known through the folklore and mythology of many lands around the world for their great size and for being intimately connected with the landscape. Unusual stone formations usually have their stories of great contests between giants or of giantess who dropped stones from their enormous aprons. They are also known for their great appetite. People of this sign tend to be as reliable as stone itself. Though they may at times be slow to act, when they do, it is decisive and focused, and little can get in their way. They are fond of the good things in life, and when they are in happy and stable conditions, they have a giant's appetite. However, when they are unsettled or in stressful circumstances, they can be a force to be reckoned with. A giant in temper cannot be reasoned with, and other signs may well find themselves giving way to the sheer force of this sign. However, they are generally gregarious, sensual, and loving in relationships. So the next zodiac is between May 21st and June 21st, and this is considered living air or wind, and is associated with Pegasus the winged horse. Pegasus the winged horse and steed of victorious warriors is one of the most iconic magical beasts of Greek mythology. Although his mythical origins are of the element of water, being born of Poseidon and Medusa, this beast is clearly associated with a more dynamic qualities of the element of air. Graceful and powerful, Pegasus can be seen as a personification of the wild wind itself. People of this sign, like Pegasus himself, fly high and fast through life, often leaving others behind them. They are mere crucial, and often their speech is as fast and intense as their thoughts. With a tendency to think out loud in rapidly shifting trains of thought, they can be fascinating yet exhausting company. Just as Pegasus's fame comes through the deeds of others to whom he was indispensable, so people of this sign display great loyalty and devotion and work well as part of a partnership or team. Because their minds are like the wind itself, never still, they can seem to change their minds often. This is not hypocrisy or a split personality, however, but rather an exploration of all angles in the search for truth. So the next zodiac sign is between June 22nd and July 22nd, and it is associated with primal water, the ocean, and llamaq the mermaid. So llamaq was an extraordinary figure, being the offspring of a union between Atane of Tuatha De Danann and Eochaid of the Firbolg, excuse me if I mispronounced any of that, and who was transformed into a mermaid and eventually canonized by the Catholic Church as Saint Mergen. Mermaids, beautiful women with the tails of fish, can be found in mythology and folklore all over the world. Quite often, they are helpful and friendly to humanity, and in some cases they can even appear as humans when out of water. However, for Fairy Tale of a Benefit Mermaid, there is a darker encounter to recall, often of their haunting song and captivating beauty, luring sailors and other suspecting souls to their doom. People of this sign are deeply emotional and sensitive, befitting the association with the elements of water in its most primal form. When they fall in love, it becomes their whole world, and their moods can become dark indeed when they are betrayed or disappointed. People of this sign are often natural healers and tend to be driven by compassion for others. They have a love of music and can be talented singers, channeling their emotional natures into creative expression. So the next zodiac is from July 23rd to August 22nd, and this is considered still fire and inner light, and is associated with Meriden the Seer. A key figure of the fairy world, both past, mythic, and present, is the fairy seer, the most famous of which must be Meriden Wilt, who later became Merlin, trusted mystic and advisor to King Arthur. Born to a mortal princess and a mortal father, Merlin is believed to be either half demon or half fairy, and he currently is the holder of many keys to the mysteries of the otherworld. As one who expresses the power of his inner fire through the gift of prophecy, Meriden sees that others do not, and as such is more occupied by the bigger picture of life and by bringing his plans for the greater good to fruition than he is about the individual. People of this sign may possess great charisma and vision, but find it difficult to accept and assimilate the views of others. They often possess great confidence and awareness of their talents, and this can lead to a clear sense of direction from an early age. The downside of this is a tendency towards the egocentric. They can be intensely charismatic and are excellent communicators, giving them the ability to influence people in their favor. Although they can lead, they can tend to do so subtly from the background rather than stepping forward. Though they have no trouble making their ideas understood, their emotions tend to be well controlled, and they will only allow those within whom they are very close to see their true feelings. And so the next zodiac sign is from August 23rd to September 22nd and is considered living earth or wood, and is associated with Eurydice the Dryad. Dryad is a word from Greek mythology taken from the Greek word dries, which means oak. though in the original context they were believed to be the beautiful female spirit of oak trees specifically. It is now used as a general term for most tree spirits. One of the most well-known dryads from ancient myth is Eurydice, the lover of Orpheus. I think that's how you pronounce it. This famous tale tells how the beautiful Eurydice was suddenly killed by a venomous snake that was hidden in the grass. Orpheus valiantly pursued her spirit to the underworld. When he confronts Hades and convinces him to allow her spirit to return on the condition that he ascends, he does not look behind him to check that she follows him. Tragically, Orpheus cannot help himself, and as he turns to look, Eurydice is lost to him forever. Just as dryads are closely connected to their tree, so is that the people of this sign have a love for their home and may not be keen on too much travel or adventure. They tend to be shy and reserved, though intelligent and with a great eye for detail. Although they find it difficult to trust others, when trust is won, they are loyal and steadfast, and their buried sensuality may flourish with the right person. Dryads love the natural world, and people of the sign make keen gardeners, liking their space to be as perfect as possible. So the next zodiac sign is between September 23rd and October 22nd and is considered primal air or breath, and is associated with Gobe Theon the horn. Through the mythology of the world and in many cultures, there are tales of warriors who sleep in the hollow hills awaiting a time of great need, when they will awaken. In the British Isles, this is usually King Arthur and his knights, or sometimes Merlin. In a number of versions of this tale, there is a horn that must be blown to awaken the sleeping king and his knights, alongside a sword that must be drawn. The power of the horn to wake those who have been lost to enchanted sleep for so many centuries is testament to the primal power of the element of air through our own breath. The names given to this sign of the Fairy Zodiac is Gobe Theon, which is the Welsh word for hopes. This seems fitting, as the horn that wakes the sleepless carries the hopes of the land in its music. People of this sign have a naturally noble nature and can be taken incorrectly for snobbery. They have an awareness of their calling in life and are connected with justice and maintaining harmony. This can mean that they seem emotionally detached, but in reality they prefer to be objective in order to be fair to everyone, as they care so deeply about the rights of others. Truth is highly important to them, yet they are sensitive to the fact that truth can be personal and subjective, so are sometimes easily swayed. Gobe Theon people may be crusaders for just causes, but usually from behind scenes rather than as figureheads. They have keen aesthetic sense and enjoy creative expression, particularly in the field of music. So the next zodiac is from October 23rd to November 22nd and is considered still water, lakes, and ponds, and is associated with Nemo, the Lady of the Lake. Lakes have long been acknowledged as gateways to other world and magical dwellings of fairy women. There are many tales of lake maidens who are the custodians of otherworldly wisdom and, at the same time, the breakers of men's hearts. One of the more well-known of these maidens is the Lady of the Lake of Arthurian fame, who gifts Excalibur to the young King Arthur and is the lover of the great seer and sorcerer Merlin. Most known versions of this tale tell how she seduced and betrayed Merlin, trapping him in a tree or a hole beneath a stone, but these are late additions. Her origins lie in an ancient sister and lover of Merlin's, who was in every way his equal, a priestess to his priest, the intuitive and receptive female polarity of magic. Just like a lake, what is happening on the surface of this sign may not always show what lies beneath. They are good at keeping secrets and have a natural awareness for the mysteries of life. They are naturally intuitive and creative, but may at times use their intuition to manipulate others. Generally, they prefer to keep people at a safe distance, but when they do allow people to become close, as they will with a select few, they are deeply intense. There are two sides to everyone, but this is particularly apparent in Nimue people, as beneath the sparkling seductive surface, there is a dark side that, fed by a fertile imagination, can be sensual and erotic but also sensitive, with a tendency to hold on to painful memories. The next zodiac sign is from November 23rd to December 21st and is considered living fire and is associated with lladag the dragon. Lladag was the great twisting serpent-like dragon who guarded the famous golden apples in the garden of Hesperides in Greek mythology. Apples are a symbol of wisdom, so we can see this as the dragon being a guardian of ancient wisdom. In world mythology, dragons take many forms and have varying powers and qualities. They have been seen as both malevolent and beneficent, but they are most always guardians of some kind, either of treasure or of a sacred place. Often the defeating of a dragon challenger is a form of initiation for mythic heroes, allowing them to access the wisdom that was so carefully guarded until he was ready. People born under the sign of lladag the dragon can be as difficult to pin down as the great serpent himself. They often have many interests and facets and pursue them with great vigor. People of this sign have their own treasure to guard. However, go whilst many things about their lives will often shift and change. The things that are precious to them will be well protected constant. This may well be their spiritual beliefs, which are often important to lladag people, to whom the tradition and ritual are of high importance. This sign also enjoys challenging others as they like to see what makes people tick. Just like a dragon, if you pass their tests, you may be admitted to the treasure of their wisdom. So the next zodiac sign is from December 22nd to January 20th and is considered primal earth and is associated with Pan the faun. Pan is an ancient god of Greek origin, thought to predate the Olympian gods. The Greeks worshipped him as a god of pastures and flocks, and his goat-like form as a faun reflected this association. In modern practice, it is generally accepted that Pan is a primal force, the male polarity of nature itself, and the rhythm of life. He was famous for his pursuit of passionate exchanges with nymphs of the forest, and also for the sweet music played on his pipes. He is the lord of beasts and the spirit of the wild, sharing many qualities of other horned gods such as the Celtic Cernunnos and the more recent Herne the Hunter of British folklore. The earthy nature of this sign makes it highly practical in nature. People of this sign like to see results and rewards for their endeavors and can be very driven by material reward. When they are focused on a task, they can be relentless and they can seek the potential gain from it, but not if they can become uninterested and disheartened. When this happens, Pan people can rapidly fall into very dark moods, but if their needs are met, they can be lifted out of the darkness just as rapidly. They have a need to be secure and stable in a relationship and are very loyal if they meet the right person. So we have just two more left, and the next zodiac sign is from January 21st to February 19th and happens to be my fairy zodiac sign. It is considered still air or the space between and is associated with Lla능 Sidhi, the muse. So, Lla능 Sidhi, or fairy lover, is a fairy muse of Irish origin said to visit artists and poets and bring them otherworldly inspiration. However, this gift is said to shorten the life of the gifted individual, as the inspiration of the muse somehow uses up their life force. This can be seen as a malignant act on the part of the Lla능 Sidhi, but from another perspective, the poet gives up his earthly life to be with his fairy lover. This is most likely a form of fairy pact, which the poet producing beautiful work for a while in his earthly life and then being taken to the other world to dwell with the Sidhi. People of this sign are gifted visionaries who seem to have an inexhaustible well of inspiration at their disposal, as well as the gift to inspire others. However, the constant activity of their minds can exhaust them, and they will often need time and space away from others to recharge their batteries. They can be entertaining in a group, if baffling and eccentric at times, but Lla능 Sidhi people only let a few people become close and see their true character. Whether through science, religion, or a combination of the two, people of the sign are most concerned with finding a universal truth and with expressing the beauty of truth to the world. Alright, so the last zodiac sign is February 20th to March 20th and is considered living water and rivers and streams and is associated with Ondine the nymph. Ondine was a beautiful nymph from a French tale of love, magic, and loss. She fell in love and married a mortal man, giving her immortal life and beauty. He swears on his breath that he will be loyal to her forever, but once she bears his child, her looks begin to fade, and he soon betrays her. She finds him sleeping in the arms of another and curses him that if he should ever fall asleep again, he will lose the breath that he swore by. Nymphs are beautiful female spirits of water and are purely emotional creatures. This emotion becomes vengefully and lethally motivated when they are given cause. People of the sign are highly emotional and intuitive individuals. They are extremely generous with their energy. They love to please others and make them happy, often sacrificing their own happiness and even health to do so. As long as people are appreciative of them, they do not begrudge their sacrifices, though they may have slightly betrayed tendencies. However, if they are disappointed in the subject of their emotional investment, they are quick to revenge. They are natural healers and are highly empathetic, but they have little control over their empathy, so they often get the emotions of others confused with their own. Ondine people find most happiness through the happiness of others, finding it difficult to pursue their own needs and ambitions. They can be highly creative as they have wonderful imaginations, but this is also something that is often sacrificed for others. So that is the Fairy Zodiac out of Fairycraft by Emily Garding. It's called Fairycraft, Weaving Connections with the Enchanted Realm by Emily Garding. So I definitely recommend this book if you guys are interested in the fairycraft at all, or any sort of fairy magic, fae-related anything. And I will leave a link down in the description box down below if you guys would like to purchase this book, for it has been educating me and giving me so much good information on the fae. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like, and if you want to see more fairy videos in the future, leave a comment down below telling me what you guys are interested in, so I know what you guys want some help on or what you guys want to learn. So until next time, stay geeky, cheeky, and freaky little hatchlings. Blessed be, and bye. Hey hatchlings, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment telling me why, and subscribe to see what I'll post next. If you love my content, please become a sponsor over at Patreon. It helps keep the channel going so I can post awesome videos for you guys. All the links will be down below. But until next time, stay geeky, cheeky, and freaky little hatchlings. Blessed be, and peace!